Kari Lake is still clearly 100% salty about losing her bid to join the Senate last time around, the second high-profile election loss that she had. We'll see if she makes it an even 3 at some point. But, and also, by the way, the department that she is in charge of now is being ended by Trump. So even this appointment is a temporary thing. They're killing Voice of America. And so she's looking for stuff to fill her day with, I suppose. And so this is where the salt comes in. So she apparently came across Ruben Gallego, the guy who whooped her in that Senate race, and she got in his face. So he was headed for an elevator, okay? And he ran into her. And so as Gallego went for a handshake, which I love that he went for a handshake, that's a classy move. Or a spicy move, I don't care. Lake accepted it with both hands and then said, "How does it feel to be bought and paid for by the cartels?"
Jesus.
And anyone watching this that's like a well-adjusted or sane person's probably like, "What are you talking about? He's bought by the cartels." Oh, that's just a thing that she was constantly saying during the election, that he was controlled by the cartels, that his father was a Colombian drug trafficker or whatever, which isn't as wild as saying that like your opponent's father killed JFK or something, but it's up there in the conspiracy theories. But anyway, Gallego talking about this interaction said, "I mean, look, it is pretty gross," but he did engage with her. And he apparently got in trouble for it, saying, "My wife is very disappointed in me because she said you didn't take the bait for 2 years." And then he did in this case. And what form did that come in? Well, he got a little jab in. He said, "I shouldn't have overreacted. I did try to rub it in." When Lake essentially said, "How could you live with yourself every day?" And I'm like, easily, I won. And I walked away. Boom, drop the mic. Oh, he got her. So anyway, I still want a lot more out of him as a senator, but in the battle between those two, it's not hard to choose sides. And Kari Lake does really, really suck. So I like that he had his little moment. What do you think, Francesca?
I mean, like, she's so sad, right? Doesn't she have an appointment in the administration at this point? What does she do again?
Voice of America, yeah. She's the head.
Yeah, head of the Voice of America. So it's like, you're just mad that you couldn't win legitimately. Right? Like, just take your role like every other little brown noser is taking their cabinet appointment. Take your role, destroy your area, make a big mess like everybody else, and pass the buck to the voters who you couldn't win over. So, and it's just very funny. I like Ruben Gallego's vibe, if I can still use that word. I like his attitude. I think he sounds like a fighter. I liked his campaign against both, obviously, early cinema and then against Kari Lake. But his legislation stinks, man.
Yeah.
This guy voted for the Lake and Riley Act. This guy's moving to the center. This guy's trying to court crypto money. This guy's bad news, okay? And we have evil lurches like John Fetterman running cover for honestly pathetic little noodles like Ruben Gallego.
I know, it's trying to feel good for a second.
I know, but he sucks.
You deflated it. I know. But anyway, she does suck more, I guess.
She sucks.
By the way,
for sure.
So she not only lost, but this gives me a little bit of like enjoyment on a daily basis. So she lost and then she lost again, which is already funny. But she lost in a year in which Donald Trump won. Like, you couldn't win then. Like, and lots of crazy Trumpers or whatever, I guess, have won over the course of the past few. Do you know how bad you have to be that she is like on a tier of, it's her, Herschel Walker, and Dr. Oz or whatever. I guess maybe like Mastriano or something. There's not that, and Matt Gaetz, I guess, for AG. There's only a few that are just so clearly terrible that even as bad as America is, they still got rejected. And she knows that, and I love it.
I do feel like hindsight looking, like I feel like Mehmet Oz, I'm like, maybe he wouldn't have been so bad. Right? Like maybe he would have been okay. Like maybe he would have, isn't he of like Arab American descent? Like I feel like
I think he's Turkish, yeah.
Okay, so he's Turkish. So like he's like, was Muslim, knows Muslim. Like he might not have been as bad on the genocide in Gaza. Just gonna say that.
Maybe. Anyway, we did our members content a couple weeks ago was a hypothetical. Would it have been better if Trump had just won in 2020, like legitimately? And so now I guess the next one is, would it have been better if Dr. Oz had beaten Federer? It'd be less annoying probably, but we'll never know. We'll never know.